All right, all right.
All right, we're live.
Mhm. Let's tell folks to like, share, tag.
Hey. Thank you.
Okay, our guest is on. You ready for me to kick it off?
Yep. Go ahead and stop the share. And we are ready.
Yo, what's going on, Facebook family? Welcome to the Main Street Missionary Baptist Church Message Monday. We are back at it again, all the way live. Listen, it is Monday afternoon or Monday evening, and we are really, really excited about tonight and what we have in store for you on tonight. I simply want to tell you, welcome to the room. Welcome to the room, everybody. We need you to like, share, tag right now. Just go ahead and like, share, tag. Like, share, and tag. Sis Carter, you want to go ahead and introduce what we're doing tonight?
Yes, tonight we are talking about the topic of no longer incarcerated. And we are not just talking about the physical building on tonight. We are talking about no longer being incarcerated in your mind. You're no longer being incarcerated by your emotions. We are talking everything about no longer being incarcerated on tonight. So we need you to chime in with us on tonight. Place your comments below all questions so that we can address them. And I'm gonna give this back to Pastor Carter so he can introduce our guest on tonight. And again, the topic is no longer incarcerated. And I want you guys to think about that on tonight. What does that mean for you to be no longer incarcerated?
All right, cool. Listen, I've been knowing this gentleman for over probably anywhere from 8 to 9 years possibly, and he's a barber. Also, he works security for our home church, and on Saturday he was cutting my head. Yeah, cutting my head, cutting my hair, giving that bald look, and we got to having a conversation. And man, once you hear his story tonight, man, it's going to really bless you and give you more insight on what God can do. I am extremely excited to introduce Sean on tonight. We call him Suge. Real name is Sean, but I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and he's just gonna share with us his story, his testimony, and and then we're gonna go from there. Then if you got questions, I ask that you would ask him. Just throwing your questions in the comment section, and we'll kind of go with the flow.
Reverend
Sean,
Carter.
Yeah.
Reverend Carter, Miss Carter, how y'all doing today?
Hey, we good, man.
Good,
All is
good.
well, all is well, man. Thank y'all for having me on, man, on the live, man. I greatly appreciate it.
Most definitely.
Yes, sir.
So, Sean, do us a favor, man. I want you to tell the people tonight, just tell them kind of like, just introduce yourself, tell them your story, man, how you got to Texas, and currently, your position and what you're doing, owner of a business. Just go through the whole nine, man. And I'm gonna throw out some questions, man, just in the midst of you kind of like talking.
Okay, man. Just to get started, I'm Sean, man. I'm originally from California, was raised in Wisconsin. Had a pretty good upbringing, man. Kind of lost my focus after my mom passed away a little bit back in 2002. So I took a rough path, just trying to redirect and find myself. Well, within the process, ended up going to prison in 2007, and I get out in 2009. But during that process, I didn't know who God was or even following a God at that matter. Street life was all I knew at the time. It was still smarter than what I was giving out. Ended up getting incarcerated. And like I told Reverend Carter on Friday, I said I learned my lesson before I even did my time. But that was when God really grabbed my attention and let me know that I wasn't alone. So as I'm in there, I sit down and I start to do my time, and I haven't really been given no time yet. So I'm just sitting there waiting to get my time. And I'm in the cell with a guy, and when I walk in the cell, I see a Holy Quran and I see a Holy Bible. Well, most of the guys in prison were Muslim, So I pick up the Holy Quran, start reading it. It really wasn't doing nothing for me, no disrespect to any other religions or cultures, but it just wasn't doing nothing for me. So the Bible I took and I put it up under my bed to kind of keep my bed from rocking. So as I got down and tried to build up some muscle, I look at this Bible every day, really not knowing the meaning or the Quran or the Holy Bible. At this time, I have no religion. I really have no direction on really where I'm going, but I feel this connection on this book is looking at me every time I get down and do my push-ups every morning. So one afternoon, I come back from showering and the Bible is out from under my bed. As I stated, it's like I had to pry the book up under my bed to keep the bed rocking. Well, when I came from showering, the book was out from under the bed. And that was in 2007. And ever since 2007, I haven't put that Bible down. I felt like God came and got me at that point. I mean, I was in the streets. The street was all I knew. No one taught me the Bible. No one taught me how to pray. No one taught me how to worship. And at that time, I just knew, like, my mom had passed away. That's all I had. My sister, my brother, and my mother, and my father. She was all in one. It was all compact. But what I learned was the building that they had me captivated in, it was a Department of Correction. And the only thing they had to do for me is be a department. The correction part came from within for me. Right then and there, like I told you, Rev, it was like I had to be done doing what I was doing. In order to change the person from within, I had to change my scenery and everything around me. And I kept having a vision. I kept having a vision, Rev, of a little white building. I didn't know what the building was. I'm still incarcerated in Wisconsin. It's a little white building. So make a long story short and cut to the grit of it, I end up moving to Texas when I get out of prison. My brother was trying to get me to come to church, I'm like, I ain't going to church, man. They just pimps and they just trying to pimp you and do all this. And that was my motto. But when I end up going to Greater Friendship Missionary Baptist Church in Fort Worth, as I started going down the hill, it was a little white building.
Mm-hmm.
All the way from Wisconsin, you're talking about 1,100, 1,200 miles away, Doc.
Right.
And the vision that I had from within was Greater Friendship. Mm-hmm. And before I walked in the building, I knew exactly where everything was. And that was in 2009. And I've been in Greater Friendship since 2009. But in the midst of all that, Rev, Sister Carter, he came in the Lord's point, and he got me up out of there, and it humbled me, and I just really appreciate Carter having me on, because I talk about this in the barbershop all the time. Like, we need to, as young African American men of American descent, we have to learn how to correct yourself. You know, you have to learn how to be corrected yourself. You had to correct yourself first and correct everything else in the midst of that. So ever since then, man, I haven't had no contact with the police since I left my old friends behind. I haven't had no contact. I haven't been in no animosity, no hostility with nobody. And I'm in peace with myself. But I didn't find that peace until after I went to prison. So it took me to go through there and go through everything, to lose everything. I lost 5 houses. I lost 7 cars. I lost businesses because I wanted to be in the streets. But I lost everything to gain more than I ever had. And that's peace within myself. So I just give it to the guys that's out here struggling, trying to find a job. Man, just keep your head up, man. Keep the focus, man. It's nothing more valuable than your life. It's nothing more valuable than having people around you that love you. I'm connected to a great family. I don't really have that much family in Texas. But greater friendship, I'm connected to him. I have a great pastor, Pastor Elara. He's one of the best pastors I know. And coming along, knowing meeting you guys 9 years ago and seeing your young one grow, it's like I'm blessed to see that, because the life that I was living, it was either dirt on top of me or bars in front of me, man. And I'm just here to tell everybody, man, whoever doing what they doing, it's gonna catch up with you sooner or later. So just slow down on everything that you're doing. Life is a lot better than what people granted for. I was in there, man, and it was a dude had been locked up for 32 years. Said Reverend Carter, he'd been locked up for 32 years. Right. I was 23 at the time. I was 23 years old at the time. He told me, man, if he ever see me come back in that prison, and he meant it. He said he'd have me killed because I was a lot smarter than what I was giving out, and I didn't belong there. And I just need that wake up right then and there to get God to have me get up out of there. It wasn't nobody but God. So I understand that but God phrase, nobody but God. So, and it's a tidy. I never give up on what I know, and that's following Jesus Christ, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the bottom line. I mean, I can get into more detail, you know, but that's just skipping across the field. If it wasn't for prison, I probably wouldn't be cutting hair. I'd go back to doing what I knew best, you know, which was the easy, fast money. But it ain't, you know, that's only gonna get you on 1 or 2 places. I'd rather be known for being a barber and a man who spoke well and a humble king. So that's how I address today's society. Just keep moving, man. Mind over matter. If you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. You know, but it took me a couple bumps. Said I got a couple bumps, but you know, that ain't the life for nobody.
Right. Hey, I want to backtrack for a minute. You are now a barber, right? And I'm going somewhere with this. How did you get into barbering? I need you to tell them how you started cutting.
I mean, it's like I said, I skipped across the field on that, but it was out of 5,500 inmates in the prison that I was locked up in Wisconsin. A warden came to me just out of nowhere. I didn't put in no kite to get a job. Didn't even want a job. A warden walked up to me out of 5,500 inmates and asked me if I wanted to be a barber. And I was like, man, you know, hey, I don't know anything about cutting hair. I can give you an even Steven, even all over and the edge of. But when it came to fading, I had nothing. He said, well, hey, this guy, he getting ready to go home in 6 months, man. You can sit behind him and learn how to cut hair. So I was like, man, you know, hey, I'm kind of nervous because, you know, the type of people that I'm in there with, I don't want to mess their head up. So it's like, I feel like that was a calling from God. And since 2007, I haven't put the clippers down since. You know, that's with the process of messing up heads to getting better, to having a guy like you sitting in my chair. You know, I never envisioned even cutting hair, like cutting high-end pastors and cutting police officers. You know, I you know, it's just a blessing to be where I'm at today. But I took that and haven't put the clippers down because I felt like that was my calling on life. I'm good at a lot of things, but I think I'm great at being behind that chair talking to people and just giving out the words of encouragement that I don't really know people may need. You know, so just as well as you asked me to do this, just us just chopping it up on barbershop talk, man. So it's like it's an honor and a pleasure to even have this and to get that word out to the people that might be struggling with going back and forth to jail when they thinking this is it. You just got to stay connected and stay grounded to what you know, and put nothing but positive people in your circle. I mean, I don't even have a circle. I have a half a circle. That's just how many people that I deal with that's valid. So I mean, if it's havoc, I cut you loose. So I mean, man, prison made me who I am. I can say that. If it wasn't for prison, I don't think I can be the man that I turned out to be today. You know, so, I really thank prison for that.
Check this out, bro. So do you feel like you are still incarcerated?
Even when I was incarcerated, I wasn't incarcerated because I took my mind somewhere else. You know, always, man. I'm like I say stuff, but at times I don't really utilize the words that I say. When I say mind over matter, I start putting things in position and start putting things into power to make that push. So if you're incarcerated in your mind, of course you're gonna be incarcerated and while you incarcerated. But this is what I tell people. You know, it's just like you have to psych your mind out. If it's hot outside, you know, you have to say it's cold so you won't be as hot. That's just like in prison. You have to just wake up and just think you're on an island as hard as it is. That's why it's hard to let people into your space, into that. I'm a vibrant person. I'm an energy person. So if the energy is disconnected, I have a hard time really feeling that vibe with a person. So I distance myself from certain things. So back to the question, if how can I put it? If you're incarcerated while being incarcerated, you always gonna be incarcerated even when you get out. Because it's a revolving door for you. Like how many times it took me one time to go to prison, but I went to jail just 9 months here, 8 months here, 18 months here. But that last time that I did, God told me, son, this is all I have for you. I'm not gonna give up on you, but I don't really know about hearing God's voice, but I knew that He was the only one that could have got up out of the situation that I was in. Far as keeping my mind filled with wisdom, knowledge, and power. Like I told you, I didn't even know how to pray. I never heard no one pray, you know, but my prayer was to keep me shielded and protect my mind and to fulfill my mind with wisdom, knowledge, and power, and to keep my family shielded. And people seen the humbleness in me. You know, I didn't curse. I carried myself different, but it had to start from within. It had to start from within the walls, because if it didn't start from within those walls, you get out here, it's so many more demons out here. So you have to learn how to fight that away before you get out. Or you get out, man, go be like, hey, man, you want to hit this blunt? Hey, man, you want to go do this? And you break it down because you're not going able to find that job. You're not able to get that job. But, man, I filled out over 100 applications when I got to Texas.
Wow.
Over 100 applications. I'm going to TCC campus, joined a little class trying to get a job. And a woman told me just like this. She said, Sean, I'm going to tell you. She said, right now in this time, it's hard for people without a record to get a job. And it kind of discouraged me. But I was like, man, you know, I don't want to go back to that place where I just came from. So I kept going, kept grinding. Went to barber school. And I never put down what God put in me. You can't put down what He put in you, or else you'll backslide sometime. Not saying that I'm perfect, but barbering, it don't pay the most money. But I get so much more being behind that chair, hearing people's stories and being able to help people mentally, physically. And, you know, just being a person for people that's in need. Like, I talk to guys all the time, man, pull up your pants, do this, you know, let's be looked at differently. Let's carry ourselves as kings, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we already looked at it in a different mannerism. So carry yourself differently. Just where you live, you don't have to stay that way. You know, so man, it's deep. It's deep, brother. It's deep. I won't wish that on nobody, man, but you have to get yourself corrected within. It's a department of correction. The correction will have to come from the person. They don't have to correct you. They don't have to give you no job. They don't have to do no schooling. Just teach yourself, and you'll be a better person at the end of the day, man. Like, I mean, you have to move from the stuff that you're comfortable with. Like, you have to move away from them friends, man, that you grew up with. You got to move away from that city that caused you so much havoc and pain. You have to move away from that. And I went there. I don't want to go back to where I'm from because I grew so much. And I have nothing but positive people around me. And I built that, and I stand on that. I stand on having the right people around me. I stand on having I appreciate the conversation we had every Friday, you know, with all my clients, man, because we all help each other out. But Reverend, man, being incarcerated is not being incarcerated unless you let your mind be that way.
Amen. Now, watch this. There are people literally right now that are incarcerated. And I'm not talking about behind prison walls. They're out in society and incarcerated. And we have different things. You touched on this a few minutes ago, things like our jobs that incarcerate us, even relationships, they incarcerate us.
Yes, sir.
We have a variety of things that incarcerate us. And so tonight we want to bring awareness to help someone else to get out of that mindset of I can't, or this is hindering me. And I think tonight by bringing you on was a good gesture for us, not just for us, but to help some young man, some young woman that is feeling as though from a confinement standpoint, their life is on hold because of certain things and certain people that they have in their lives. You said that it should be that they should literally you have to walk away from some people, you have to walk away from some things. And tonight, I think it's very key. I think it's very valuable for those people who are listening. It's okay. It's okay to walk away from some things and some people.
Yes, absolutely, man. And just sitting here listening, I'm just kind of just going back over the things like, far as you have to learn how to let certain things go, man. You have to learn how to let things go. And when I was incarcerated, it was a lady in there. She did Bible study on Wednesdays. Her name was Mother Gant, and I never forget it. She was 94 years old. And I was on the 7th tier of the prison that I was in. And Mother Gant, she never took the elevator. She used to walk up 7 tiers every Wednesday. And every Wednesday she'll walk up these tiers. And the 7th floor, that's my favorite number, you know. So when I actually do go to Bible study, the woman is just staring at me. I mean, she's staring at me, so making me uncomfortable that I turn around and look to see if she's staring at anybody. But so after Bible study was over with, just to skip across the field, after Bible study was over with, she made me stay behind. And she just really just told me some stuff like, you have a gift. And as she told me that, only thing I was thinking about was, I have to get this gift to the world. I'm not gonna be able to do it behind these bars. And right then and there, I wanted to change my life. I didn't want to be gang banging. I didn't want to be in the streets doing anything that no more, man, because my mom had passed away and I wanted to make her proud. You know what I mean? Everything that she instilled in me, like to this day, I don't cuss around elders. I respect them. If I see somebody need help, I pull over and help them. But that's just in me, because I feel like if my mother still wouldn't have been here, I wouldn't have been the man I am today, because I would have been looking for that crutch. You know, help me, Mom, help me. But by her passing away, I had to step up at the age of 20 and become a man. You know, when you just come into manhood, I had to step up and be a man. But I took a lot of L's because didn't nobody tell me no. Didn't nobody tell me this is not right. This is not that. But, you know, when you sit down and you sit behind them walls, it's you have to remove yourself from everything that you're familiar with. And in times, God make you feel uncomfortable, man. When He's trying to move you into a bigger and better place, He gonna make you uncomfortable. I didn't understand that then, so I had to lose everything. I had to lose everything to gain more than I ever had. And I'm not talking about money or materialistic things. I'm talking about peace. I'm talking about good health. I'm talking about a good relationship with God. You know, man. At the end of the day, I'm not perfect, but at the end of the day, I strive to set a good example for the people that's connected to me.
Word.
You know, so at the end of the day, everything gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy. Anything that's easy, not worth having. You know, life is a struggle. I mean, it's just like a boxing match, man.
Mm-hmm.
You get knocked down in life, you get knocked down in life, but it's how you recover from that hit. You get knocked down, you get back up before that 10 count, you back up at it. That's how life do.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you connected to God don't mean you're not gonna have storms. And I had
Right.
to learn everything, what I'm saying, from within. But you can't let that entrap your mind. Even in a marriage, I was married for almost 11 years,
Mm-hmm.
so it's things that I learned, and it's things that made me better, and it's things that people have to let go. You
Mm-hmm.
can't hold on to your past. You got to let it go, Reverend. You do.
Mm-hmm.
You have to let go and let God, man. At the end of the day, you can't keep doing what you used to do. You can't keep going to
Amen.
them streets. You can't keep hanging out with them friends. If you're not doing what they do no more, it's only so long before you go get back to doing what they're doing. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to keep the faith. You got to keep it moving. You got to keep the faith, man. But just
Sister Carter, did you have a question?
I did, but he kind of answered it for us already because I was going to ask him about when he became a barber. Before even becoming a barber, did you even attempt to get a job or anything like that? Because I was reading today where a lot of people who, I don't like to say inmates or prisoners, I just say judicially involved, it's about 600,000 that come out every single year. And it said that about 25% of them go back to doing the same thing or end up back in the same situation 3 years
Mm-hmm.
later back in prison. And you made a great point that if you're incarcerated in your mind, then that's when you will be incarcerated. And we know that even for us who have never been in prison, we live in mental prison. A lot of that happens for us. And what I was reading today also is that when you come out of that situation, that a lot of jobs discriminate. They say they're okay with hiring people who have a past, and they're okay with the fact that they did their time, but they still discriminate, and it becomes hard. And so you have no other option but to go back to that life. And my question to you was, how did you adjust to that reality? But you already answered that for us because you said, you know what, I'm going to take myself to barber school, and that's when you became a barber.
and Sister Carter, it was like my grandmother had said something to me, and it really resonated in my spirit. She was like, "So why don't you just cut hair, doing what God gave you to do in prison?" And I didn't look at it like that, because I was free, so I'm finna go get a free world job. But it was like, you know what? You're right. And barbering is I went to school and got a degree in computer electronic engineering technology and computer science. Boring. Good money, but barbering, it I don't never get tired of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people go to work every day and they don't want to go to work, but it's good money.
Right.
But I go to work every day, can't wait to get to work because of the people that I'm connected to. But I did get discouraged along the journey. That's why I said, you know what? The light clicked on.
Mm-hmm.
God, like, hey man, hey, I told you what I want you to do. I even sent the messenger. I even sent the messenger to get you up out your room, to learn how to cut hair. So it was like when I got in the free world, it was like, man, I was cutting, murderers and stuff like that. So I'm like, man, if I mess up somebody here out here, it ain't gonna be that bad, considering that,
Wow.
I was in there cutting them type of people, not to, say that they, any different from anybody else, but it's a lot of scary people in there. So it's like, I really became professional when I got out. But it's like I can't put these clippers down, man. God has put this in my life, man. And I've been having so much support from my church, from my church family, man. They come and show me a lot of support, man. Just being connected to God, man. God sent me a lot of people that's just like me and go to church without me even going to get them. So it's like I know I'm in the right field. You know what I mean? I know I'm in the right. I might be sitting at the shop on a Tuesday, like, man, I'm gonna cut 3 hairs today. Like, then I look around and boom, before you leave, I cut 13 heads, 14 heads. It's like, oh, thank you, Lord. And, like that. So it's like, you just have to really, man, you got to, first of all, this is first and foremost. You have to put God in your life. If you don't have God in your life, man, when it comes to doing what you're trying to do, of course you go revert back to doing what you want to do. Like you said, Sister Carter, the money not gonna be there right away. But you can't think about the money. You got to think about your freedom. Because one thing that I hated is I used to see guys in the free world that wouldn't even have a job, but as soon as they get to prison, they looking for a job in the kitchen or they looking for a job to get out their cell. You have to apply that world, that jail mentality into the free world to keep you out of there. But I bumped my head. You know, I did that, went back and doing what I was doing because I couldn't get a job. But but God put that in my life, like, son, you're good with your hands. I need you to be this artist. I need you to be this architect. You know, and I just look at like I'm creating these guys when they come in there. You know what I mean? I'm making them feel good. I'm creating these guys. But you have to find something that God has put on your heart, and you need to stop going left when He wants you to go right. And like you said, Sister Carter, it's like it is hard when you first come out of prison, especially if you don't have no family support. It's hard. It really is hard. But I remove myself from that. I move all the way across the world because I used to get out. Oh man, this job ain't paying this, man. Forget that job because I know what I can go back to the block and get right away. But I don't have that mentality no more because I removed myself from all the people that I knew. So it makes you uncomfortable, but you got to get connected. You have to get connected. You have to get connected. And I'm talking about to God. You got to get connected with Him. You know, or else you just a floating soul out here, man.
Well, how would you encourage someone who comes out and they are, I mean, in a similar situation like you with no family, no support to, like to say, don't go back to that same circle. You got to change your scenery.
Like it had to start from within them prison walls. You had to be setting up your mind so when you got out, you just weren't walking into because the first thing your friends gonna want to do when you get out, they're gonna want to get you high, they're gonna want to get you drunk, and they might not have to put no money on your books the whole time you did your bid, but they want to get you drunk and high as soon as you get out. So you got to see the devil in them off the muscle. You got to understand, like, hey, bro, like, hey, I ain't with that, man. Hey, I just got out, bro. I'm trying to find a job. You know, hey, if you want to help me, brother, take me to this interview in the morning. Help me find a job. Help me do some of the side jobs. You know, you got to come out running 1,000 when everybody else running 100. You know, it's gonna get discouraging. You know, I when I first got out here and first got into a barbershop, Sister Carter, I was making $80 a week. And I'm there Monday through Saturday. I'm making $80 a week. And I'm barely making $80. I got to clean up this lady's shop just to pay my $75 booth rent that this woman is charging me. So I'm barely able to make booth rent. But I was connected to the church. You know, the church wasn't necessarily giving me the money, but they was giving me the resources that I need mind-wise and God-wise that I was connected to. That means just stay there and keep pushing. And I wasn't making the money for like the first year when I got out. Like I said, I was probably averaging $320 a month, and I'm spending $200 a month on gas. You know what I mean? So it was a struggle. It was a struggle. But now I just look back and I shared it with Pastor Laurie, and I shared it with Skip. I was just sitting in my truck about probably like a year and a half ago, man. I just caught myself in a thank you God moment, man. I'm just sitting in my truck and I haven't sold no drugs to get to where I'm at. I haven't did nothing but cut hair. You know what I'm saying? And just having that go, just having that get up and go. And I get it from my pastor. I get it from Pastor Laurie. Pastor Laurie, and this is how I went about doing my business. He said he used to walk in the church before service started, and he'd touch every chair and tell God to fill these chairs.
That's right.
So that's right. I used to do that in my old shop. The shop used to go to Blaze, Reverend. I used to touch every shop. It was 32 chairs in there. Everything I love, God overflowed me. I have 19 chairs every Friday and Saturday. So he had to move me to the back of that shop because I had so much clientele. And you got to be careful what you ask God for. But I struggled. I didn't come out making money. I struggled for 3 years. I struggled for 3 years before I really started to make money. So it was like I didn't go back. I just know I didn't want to go back to eating what I was eating, or being laying up in there in a cell and having a man tell me what to do every day. So it was like I took that out of my mind. I didn't want that food, and I didn't want to be around no grown men playing like kids all day. So I had to keep that focus. I had to keep that grind. I had to keep that. I was profound. It was tenacious. I wasn't going back. So you have to have that. I'm not going back. You know what I mean? You have to have that. You got to have that drive. Even if you got to, you know what I'm saying? Like I was picking up pennies and dimes off the ground as I do now, and saving them because I appreciate everything that I have. You know what I mean? Because I appreciate everything. And, you know, people see me. I got braids. I got tattoos. And, you know, I don't care what no one think about me, man. But I know God got me covered, bro. So you have to have that drive. You have to have that get up and go. You can't, when everybody else waking up at 7, you got to get up at 4:30. You got to go. You got to get it. You can't wake up when the world wake up. You got to go out here and get it. You know, they say early bird get the worm, but you got to get up early and get that worm. You know, so it's like, you know, I worked at temp services, man, and you know, I had support from, you know, from my family and stuff. I'm like, hey, man, just keep doing what you're doing, man. We got your back. So you got to have that support. You got to connect yourself to good people.
Amen.
You just have to connect yourself to good people. Said, you know, just at the end of the day, you have to stay connected to good people.
Now watch this. You went from the prison to being a protector. All right. You went from the prison, from being a prisoner to being a protector. Now,
yes, sir.
if that ain't God, I don't know what is. You know, and when I see you, man, I see you standing in church, always serving. And I don't want to say protecting anymore. You are serving. You are the epitome of a servant. If y'all ever go to Greater Friendship, this brother stands, escorts the pastor into the church, and literally makes sure from a safety standpoint that everything is good. And I've never seen he's one of the most humblest individuals. If you can tell us, Sean, how is it now being a servant in church? How is it from where you were to where you are now?
Man, you know, just listening to you say that, man, it's like, man, it's a surreal feeling, Pastor, man. It's a surreal feeling, man. You know, from me not growing up in the church to me not knowing nothing about no church, and for me to have a vision of a little white building, not even knowing what city or even what the building is. And I just remember when I was getting closer to Greater Friendship, I was in the car with my brother, and we was getting closer and closer to the church. And as we was getting closer, I said, bro, take me back home, man. It was cold outside. I just started getting to like a little cold sweat. I said, man, take me back home. He said, man, I ain't taking you back home, man. Come on, man. It's all right, man. It's not like a normal church. And we get to going down to church and I see it, but I started sitting all the way in the back of the church, you know, and it kind of went in a triangle. I started in the back and then I started holding the door. And then it was only like one security guy at the time. And he was like, hey, man, the pastor wants you up here with us. I said, the pastor want me up there with you? You know, you know, it's kind of like, what you mean up there with him? You know, I don't know nothing what's going on. So, and that started 9 years ago, man. And it was just like, I already had like a protective nature. So when it came to just being there for the person that I really looked up to as a big brother, as a father, in the ministry, man, I just feel like I had to protect everybody and make sure everybody was safe there. You know, that was 9 years ago, but it was like, you know, I wouldn't. It's just like I don't like to miss church just for that reason, because I feel like if anything happened, I wasn't there, so it'd be like I really take that hard. So I try not to miss a Sunday, not unless I'm bowling or something like that. But I like Pastor say, he said you can be out all night Saturday, but don't stay all night. You know what I'm saying? For you to be at church Sunday morning, man, that's just how I rotate. Whatever I do that Saturday night, I still make sure I get to the church house, man, before he get there, you know, and make sure he's good. But just being a servant and just making sure the church is good, you know, that just something that God instilled in me, man. Just over the course of time of being that Greater Friendship, you know. And I just thank my brother for staying on me, getting me to go to the church. I just thank Paris Larry for just being a great teacher, man, just taking me under his wing, man. And a guy like me, man, he just, you know, and I remember at the old church, you know, I walked in with my beard, and I just remember my grandmother saying that, when I was a kid, don't walk in here with these braids in your head. Take your hair down. So she always take my hair down. So it's a lady in our church named Sister Miller. I said, Sister Miller, I'm thinking about cutting my beard off. And she said, what? I said, yes, Sister Miller, I'm thinking about cutting my beard off. She said, don't you cut your beard off. That's you. That's you. So it's like, it just made me feel some type of way. So it was like, nobody never looked at me no differently. You know, I love Jordans. I wear Jordans to church, and you know, I wear Air Max. It's like I really can't get with the dress stuff. So it's like don't let your attire run you away from church. You know, where would you come as you are and who you are, and people will accept you as such. You know what I mean? So I just tell people that anybody, man, that's struggling to find a job, don't never give up. Don't never give up on you. Always stay harder on you than anybody could possibly be. Stay hard on you than anybody could possibly be. Just words of encouragement. Never give up, man. You know, stand for what you know. You know, just keep going and just keep going and just keep going. You know, like they used to have that Energizer Bunny on TV, man. Just keep going. Just keep chasing what you know. You know, don't longer incarcerate your mind. You know, don't let things control your mind no more. You know, your muscle, your strongest muscle is your mind, and don't let nobody, you know, control that muscle, man.
Wow. Hey, did you write what he just said down?
The strongest muscle is your mind.
Your strongest muscle is your mind.
That's true. And I wanted to say this too from to Sean really quick is that I never heard your story or anything like that. And tonight you have inspired so many people online and me personally. And I'm grateful that you came on and you were willing to share your testimony on tonight. Because what I learned from you, just myself, is that I have mental imprisonment. Like I've been incarcerated by my mind because what I learned from you is you cannot be lazy. There is no room for excuses, no negativity. You can't even have self-destructive talk about yourself. And you need to be investing in yourself. Do not give up. Do not give up.
Absolutely. You know, when you and I tell people, you know, you have to take at least 20 and 30 minutes of your day to really just gather your thoughts. Like before you wake up, don't grab your phone. You know, just get your thoughts and get your thoughts together for the day. Don't just jump into what everybody doing on social media because they dictate your motive. Like you have to do a detox. You have to do a cleanse. You know what I mean? You have to detox your body from a lot of stuff, and people don't know. Like a lot. I only have like a couple social media. I have Instagram. That's for posting my pictures of my work. And I had like Snapchat to put my work on there. But outside of all the other stuff and getting caught into what people in, I'd rather read what I want to read than look what everybody else on. So I'd rather get my mind together for the day and get my thoughts together for the day. And you just really had to take some alone time to yourself. You know, just really you know, not only just prayer, just talk to yourself. Like I talk to myself a lot. Like, you know, I had a lot of alone time. So it's like, I don't mind being alone. But you have to find that peace from within. You know, you have to find that. You have to find that you have to find that zing within you. You know, if it's meditation, if it's walking, like people have a different way to zing. Like I like to look out the window and think. So it's like people have to find that way to get their mind out of or what you really in. That's why I say when you're in prison behind the walls, you have to take your mind somewhere else. So you really have to put yourself in a mindset. So that's why I don't put myself around a lot of people. I'm around the same people every day because I know these guys not gonna get me in trouble. I know these people not gonna get me in trouble. So you really have to take your mind to a different place. And like I said, your brain is the strongest muscle in your body. You know, so you have to really open up your mind. And that's what I learned by being in prison. Like I told Reverend, man, I said, if it wasn't for that, I don't know where I'd be right now. And I just want to thank y'all for having me on, man. You know, it's been great. It's been great, man. Reverend, Sister Carter. You know, I just always see you come and go on, Sister Carter. Man, Big said, man, he always been a big brother of mine. He always been a big sister in Christ of mine, man. And I just really just appreciate just having this opportunity, man. I'm more than elated to be able to reach out to the youth or even the older guys that might be struggling, man, during this time. So I come in peace. I appreciate y'all having me on, man, and everything. You know, whatever I could do, I like to come back and do some follow-up questions or whatever we need to do. But we got to reach and touch everybody in different ways. So whatever I can do.
We appreciate you too. And you are my unsung hero tonight, sir. Yes, you
Thank you,
are.
thank you,
Uh,
thank you, thank you.
I'm going to unmute Pastor real quick because he's been trying to say something.
Hey, you know what? That's really healthy, man, because I was just thinking is that incarceration will not allow you the opportunity to grow. I need everybody to write that down in the comment section. Incarceration will not allow you to grow. Incarceration literally stunts your growth. It stunts your ability to get to a place, the highest level of where God wants you to be. It is said that mass incarceration is a policy that's kind of built up over the last 4 decades and destroyed families and communities, and something we need to change. It's fallen desperately on Black and brown communities, especially Black communities. And it's kind of a manifestation of structural racism. And that came from John Legend. I want to encourage somebody on tonight that's literally that is incarcerated, that has been incarcerated in their mind, not just from a physical standpoint, but also from a mental capacity of not being able or not feeling as though you are qualified, not feeling as though you are able, don't have the mindset or the ability, don't have the skill set. I want to tell you that you are qualified, regardless. Don't incarcerate yourself. Don't allow naysayers to hold you back from where God literally wants you to get to. Every day is a day of progression for all of us. It's a day of progression. We incarcerate ourselves. He just said it to us tonight. This man was locked up for some years, and it took him having that speaking, talking to himself, reading, studying the word of God in order to loosen that demonic spirit, because that's nothing but a demonic spirit. When we talk about incarceration, that's a demonic spirit. And tonight we are missing out on a whole lot. A lot of us are missing out because we don't. We have this block in our mind that I can't, and we've been told so much. You won't be this. You can't be that. You are not. You can't. You're not able to do this for this reason or that reason. No. I think we all need to get back to the Obama type mentality and saying yes, we can. Come on, Sis Carter.
Oh, I was just saying yes, we can, but I wanted to read this really quick too because, um, and I'll say this because I heard this from Sean. I got this. It's all about action. It really is. You gotta act. And he said that while he was incarcerated, that he took his mind and he thought about the life that he really wanted to live.
Mm-hmm.
He was never really there.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
if you imagine the life that you want to live and then you act on it, then you will no longer be
Yeah.
mentally imprisoned. It takes action every day. And that's whether
Yeah.
you write it down one day and the next day you say, what's the first step to me getting to this place? One of his steps was he went into the barber shop and he placed his hand on every chair and he asked God to fill that chair. That's
Mm-hmm.
action. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to, if we want to grow mentally and mentally no longer be incarcerated, it's going to take some action, also fueled by faith. And your faith has to
Mm-hmm.
be fueled by some blood, some sweat, and some tears.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's real.
Wow.
And it's like it's it's a surreal feeling to just be in a place and you knew that you didn't give up on you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you never gave up on you. And I'm getting the
Mm-hmm.
chills right now just thinking about it. Like I never gave up on me.
Mm-hmm.
But when you know that that man has brought you out of a place to put you somewhere better. Like the pastor say all the time, man, it's gonna make you uncomfortable, man. It's gonna make you uncomfortable. But nothing is gonna come easy. Nothing is gonna come easy. And I just want to leave with this, man. Change your surrounding. Change the people that you connected to. You know, like they say eagles soar with eagles. You know, and when you go to that next level, everyone can't go to the next level with you. So there's gonna be some people that's left behind. But it was only meant for them to be with you for that period of time.
Right.
And like I shared with Reverend Carter, Sister Carter, is when I did pick up that Bible, I didn't even know how to read it. So I just pray and I just throw the book on the bed, and whatever it open up at, that's what I read. But when I first opened up that Bible, everything that I read up until the point, that's what was going on. That's what was transpiring in my life. And a quick story that I don't even think I shared was said, but this is a very profound story, and and I knew this is how I changed for the better of God. So I get out here, I have a 72 Cutlass drop top. So I park it by my brother's house, and I come out, and I thought, because I bagged up at this parking spot, they towed my car. Well, come to find out, they didn't tow my car. Someone stole my car. So when the police called me, it was 5 days later, they called me and said, hey, whatever, we found your car. And the first thing I said to them was, did y'all find the Bible that was in the car? Did y'all find the Bible that was in the car? I wasn't worried about the car. I was worried about the first Bible that I got from prison that I had highlighted everything in that I had, man. I wasn't even messed up about the car.
Right.
I wanted that Bible back because I had everything in that book. You know what I'm saying? I had so many notes and so much stuff that was coming to me that he was just giving me. That's how I knew that God had took me from being materialistic, because I couldn't go outside if I didn't have some fresh shoes on. I couldn't cut no grass if I wasn't fresh. But he took all that away from me, man, and stripped me from everything to let me know, man, hey, man, I'm bigger than all that, bro. And y'all give it to you again. If you're working, you show me who you are and show me what you're about, I give it to you double. So it's just about being connected to God and not being incarcerated from within. You have to be able to separate yourself from the people that means no good, no justice to your energy. You know how just some people in your life, you just can't even give them no energy. You don't even have no words for them because your energy not even allowing you to get that to them. And on Wednesday night, Monty was talking about anger and just letting anger in, but just learning how to diffuse that anger and just learning how to, you know what I'm saying, calm yourself. Life is great, man. And until you figure that out and you want to keep going back to prison, man, that's no life for nobody. You know, you have to take your mind off of the stupid stuff to get you in there, and then you be like, you in there, you like, man, Lord, please. I used to be like, Lord, please let me out of here. Please let me out of here. And he had let me out every time. But that when I went to prison, I said, Lord, I hear you. I'm done. Everything I told you I'm not doing no more, I promise I'm done doing it. And I haven't touched it since. And he's been blessing me abundantly, man. So it's just staying connected to him. You know, it's not gonna be perfect, but you have to stay connected to God. And I can talk about that. But like I said, I didn't know a God for 27 years, 24 years until I went to prison. So it's like he do really come and get you at these low places, man. And you really have to just stay grounded to what you know and just stay connected to the people that means well to you. Like, I can't even give my energy to certain people because it just won't allow me to. I can't even, you just get mad with a person. You're like, I don't even have no words for you. So it's till you get to that point in your life where it's like, you tired of making mistakes. You have to come out of prison already psyched up and ready to go. Because if you come out here and you don't have a plan, you have to come out with a plan. You have to come out with a drive. You have to leave everything behind that you're familiar with. Family, everything. You got to leave all that. You know, the person that you are, you'll come in, you go adapt to good people, but you have to connect yourself to the right people. You know, and that's just life, man. That's life. Incarcerated, being locked up in the mind, being incarcerated in the marriage, being incarcerated you know, with these drugs, you have to learn how to fight all the temptations and all the things that's causing your mind havoc. You know, like they say, joy come in the morning. I'm a morning person, so you have to get your. They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. No, praising God is the most important meal of the morning. For real, you gotta wake up and get that food to you first, man. You know, so I mean that's just where I'm at with it, Rev, man. You know, I'm just blessed to be able to be on the outside of the wall talking from my brothers that's behind the wall, man. Keep y'all head up like your nose bleeding, man. And just when you get out, man, you just drive, man. Put the 4-wheel drive on or whatever obstacle. We know it's gonna be hard because we got a ball and a chain on our leg already. So we got to drag that. We got to jump over that hurdle, even if it take us scratching up our knees or messing up our elbows, man. But we got to get to that next level. We cannot continue to go back down that road that we knew. We knew you used to have money back in the day. We know you used to be the biggest dope dealer. Who cares? Who cares? Be the best you can be for your people. We don't care about that no more. Be the best person you can be. Because you in jail, sharing pictures with dudes, having jail stories, listen to these jailhouse lawyers. You know what I mean? Come up out that thing, man, and be a better person for your people. You know, this is what helped me out. I said I can't be in prison and lose one of my family members, and I can't go to one of their funerals. That'll kill me in the inside. So I said, right then and there, I'm not going back to do nothing that caused me to get there. You know what I mean? I don't want to lose a family member and not be able to go to a funeral. Because I want to be stupid and make, you know, you're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting the people that's connected to you too when you do stupid stuff and go to prison. That's what I learned. Like my grandmother, she didn't even answer the phone for me my last bid. No, she ain't give up on me, but she just said, hey, I ain't spending more money on these phone calls. And that was the hardest time. But I woke up and it's like 2009 and it's 2020. Thank God I haven't been pulled over. I haven't been, haven't had no tickets. I haven't had no run-in with the law, because I removed myself from all that, man. I don't ride with nobody in my car. I had a bad experience with that. You know what I mean? So it's like God has been trying to get my attention for a long time. But guess what? I had to sit down in prison for everything to come to a complete halt for my life to really start reflecting. Man, you had to really just sit back and just reflect on life. Like you don't really have that out here in the world because your life moving too fast. You know what I'm saying? You don't really have that to be able to reflect because your life moving too fast. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like you just gotta sit down sometime and get your mind right, man, and just not worry about that stuff that had you going back down that way. That's anybody. That's in a marriage. You gotta let that go. That's what you gotta let it go. You gotta if you spinning your wheel in a circle and you're not getting nowhere, you gotta let it go. It's not worth, you stressor, calling you high blood pressure, man. It's certain things you gotta let go.
Hey man, like that's good, man. I appreciate you for coming and being our special guest on tonight. Listen, if you want to find Suge, if you want to go to the barbershop and get your hair cut, listen, where can they find you in Suge?
I'm in 7371 Etterville, Fort Worth, Texas, 76112. Or you can reach out to Reverend Carter and get my number because I do all appointments, so you don't have to wait. And mask and everything is required. Cleanliness is the next thing to godliness, so you don't have to worry about that when you step into my establishment. So, man, I just want to appreciate y'all for having me on. Reverend Carter, Sister Carter, Facebook. Hey, it's been one.
Yeah, that's what's up. Hey, man, we appreciate you. Listen, I want to tell our special black business on tonight is Mr. King and the Truth Kitchen. Y'all have supplied us with food to eat tonight. Mr. King and Truth Kitchen, y'all are our black business tonight. Thank you for the food. The food was great tonight, Mr. King. We are supporting black businesses every Message Monday. Listen, if you need some good grub, go to Mr. King at Truth Kitchen because the boy can straight throw down. Hey, man, you are a fantastic chef. Thank you, bro. We love the food tonight, man. Thank you. Hey, next Monday, we'll be right here doing the same thing at another time, in the same location But at the same time, hey, we're trying to give you a great reality word. This is what it's all about. Yeah, we outside the four walls of the church. And what better way than to be up under your own roof, but still being able to talk about real life issues and and how the Lord is actually making changes in so many people's lives, man. Lives are being changed and challenged and converted. This is real, for real, for real. And I want somebody to know tonight that you're no longer incarcerated. Ain't nothing else to be said. You're no longer incarcerated. Period. Point blank. Enough is enough. You can be whatever you want to be. Business owner, go and do it. Whatever you want to be. You want to be a doctor, lawyer, you can be it, hands down. Nobody can hold you down. Hey, let us have a word of praise. Turn to God, our Father, how we thank you. God, we thank you for what our eyes have seen and our ears have heard. Now, Father, we ask that you will continuously to bless Suge, God. We ask that you will continuously to bless the Nation Street Missionary Baptist Church and all churches that are affiliated with your kingdom. Lord, we love you and we simply adore you tonight, God. I ask that you will give everybody on this line sweet peace and sweet rest, God. Wake them up right early in the morning, start them on their way, and then allowing them to have the best day of the rest of their lives on tomorrow. It is in Jesus' name we pray. And we all say together, amen. We just going to turn on just a little bit. Some of y'all know this jam. I just like the beat. That's me. Y'all can put y'all hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Listen, it's been a great message Monday. We're going to do it again next week. Right here, live at the 9. It don't get no better than this. Saving the lost at any cost.